Well, let's start from the beginning, right? With the classical management book, Good to Great, that we're all familiar with, and I'm sure the listeners either have read it or at least have heard of it. Very, very briefly, Jim Collins and his team studied 1,400 organizations and found that 11 of them were able to make the leap from good to great financial performance. So naturally, they went in and they studied these organizations to see what is in common between them and how are they different from the vast majority of other organizations. And what they found was one of the most important factors was the character of their CEOs. Now, remember, when the researchers went into these organizations, they were expecting to find type A personalities, right? Bang on the table, authoritative types. But what they found was the total opposite, because all 11 of these CEOs were very humble. They gave credit to others when things were going well, and they took ownership, they took the blame when things were not. But they were not weak or passive leaders. They were fiercely determined and they were very ambitious. But they were not their ambition was not for themselves. It was for the team and for the organization. And as you recall, Jim Collins called these level 5 leaders. Now, good to great, this was 30 years ago. So the question is, do we have more current research that has looked at this balance of humility and ambition? And the answer is absolutely yes. I've spent the last 7, 8 years of my career looking at that research, curating it, understanding it, summarizing it. And we've had dozens of studies that have come since then have confirmed that this thesis of high humility and high ambition still holds till today. Just very, very recently, earlier this year, Harvard Business Review did a survey of more than 500 business people and asked them what are the expectations of leaders today, especially in this uncertain work environment. And one of the main characteristics was to have the ambition and the confidence to make hard decisions and to balance that with the humility to admit mistakes. The researchers called it being a humble hero, which is very, very similar to what we're talking about being a ambitious leader.